was a scene when they were in, I don't know where the fuck they were. No, they were in Iran, and it was showing the guy talking to people, whatever. And I was looking, I was like, that backdrop looks like Donald Trump's bathroom at Mar-a-Lago. Look at this tacky ass shit. It was awful. Costing us money. Milana, whatever, won't take her ass to D.C., but I can't fault her for that one either. I would want to be away from his ass too, shit. Do you know, a friend of mine told me they were at the movie theater.
The moment was electric. Wanda Sykes, the brilliantly sharp comedian, had been invited to appear on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. It was an episode that had been building in anticipation, especially given the current political climate. Sykes, known for her unfiltered commentary and fearless approach to politics, was about to make a statement that would rattle the political world and especially Donald Trump. As the interview began, Sykes wasted no time diving into the heart of the matter. "Look, we all know that Donald Trump likes to bend the truth," she began, her voice dripping with sarcasm, "but here's the problem. He bends it so far that it breaks, and when it breaks it causes chaos, real harm." The audience burst into laughter, but it wasn't just the humor that made the moment stand out, it was the unflinching truth that she was laying bare about the former president. Trump, a man who had spent years spinning his own version of events, had found a worthy adversary in Wanda Sykes. Sykes continued, "The thing is, when you lie to the American people constantly, it's not just a problem for the man at the top, it trickles down. People start thinking it's okay to lie about anything, to twist reality into something it's not. And I'm not just talking about politics here, I'm talking about the very fabric of what we expect from our leaders, but with Trump, it's been one giant game of who can lie the loudest." Her words hit harder than expected, and the studio erupted in applause. It was as if the audience had been waiting for someone to finally put Trump's actions into perspective with such a blunt and fearless analysis. The contrast between Sykes' humor and the harsh reality of her message made it all the more impactful. Trevor Noah, who had been sitting back and enjoying the banter, leaned in. "Wanda, what do you think it says about a leader who consistently operates with this kind of dishonesty?"
About Donald Trump? Hard not to these days. What's your
Hard
opinion
not
about
to.
President Trump?
Oh, sweet Jesus. Well,
Yeah.
you know, it's like everyone's waiting for this moment for him to become presidential.
Right.
You know, they're like, oh, he has to learn how to control his emotions. He has to learn to be measured. You know, but the man is 70 years old. Those are things that you teach kids. You know, I'm teaching my 7-year-olds those things.
Right.
You know, Trump is 70. He's not going to learn.
Wanda didn't hesitate. It tells us that they don't think the truth matters. It tells us that their ego is bigger than the country they're supposed to be serving. And when that happens, it's a dangerous thing. You can't just tell people anything and expect them to follow blindly. There has to be some integrity in leadership. There has to be a sense of responsibility. Her words hit home. The audience was no longer just laughing, they were listening, absorbing the gravity of what she was saying, and it was clear that Wanda wasn't pulling any punches, not just for comedic effect, but because she was genuinely concerned about the future of the country. Trump, watching from his own space, was not amused. As the interview aired, the rage inside him began to bubble over. His allies and staff members could see it. Trump was seething. The criticism, coming from someone as well-known and influential as Wanda Sykes, felt like a personal attack, and it stung. He quickly took to his social media, lashing out in a fit of fury. "Wanda Sykes is just another Hollywood liberal who doesn't get it. She's bitter and out of touch, just like the rest of them," he tweeted, his words laden with venom. The backlash was swift. Social media exploded with reactions, some supporting Wanda's brave stance, while others supported Trump, further fueling the divide. But what stood out was the overwhelming reaction in favor of Wanda Sykes. People applauded her for standing her ground, for calling out the former president with the raw, unapologetic truth. This wasn't just a clash of personalities, it was a moment that underscored the stark contrast between Sykes' approach to leadership and Trump's divisive style. Sykes, with her fierce intelligence and humor, wasn't just criticizing Trump for the sake of entertainment, she was offering a critique of the very values that had driven his political rise. As the night wore on, the clips of Wanda's appearance went viral, circulating on social media, news outlets, and late-night discussions. Trump's response was no surprise to anyone. It was typical of how he had always handled criticism, but this time, it was different. People were beginning to see the cracks in his narrative, and Wanda Sykes had delivered the truth with a level of clarity and humor that left an indelible mark. The fallout was felt across the political spectrum. Donald Trump's temper flared as the weight of Sykes' words sank in. Her fearless ability to confront him on live television had turned the tables, leaving him without the usual defenses he had relied on. In the eyes of many, Trump had been exposed for the second time that week, first by Wanda, and later by the collective understanding that honesty, integrity, and accountability were the real values that needed to be in place for leadership to work. The uproar.
And he annoys me. His whole family annoys me, matter of fact.
Yeah. What about the family annoys you?
Okay, look, a friend of mine was at the movies, and he goes, oh, guess who was here? Tiffany Trump was here with Secret Service.
Tiffany Trump.
Tiffany Trump was there with Secret Service. That annoys me that Tiffany Trump has a Secret Service detail. What the hell is she doing with Secret Service? Don't nobody know who she is.
Over Wanda Sykes' fearless takedown of Donald Trump only continued to escalate in the days following her appearance on The Daily Show. Media outlets picked up the clip, and it wasn't long before the interview went viral. Social media was ablaze with reactions from all corners of the political spectrum. Many praised Sykes for her unapologetic dismantling of the former president, while others, loyal to Trump, launched into heated debates defending his actions. But it was clear that Wanda had struck a chord, not just with her comedy, but with her straightforward approach to accountability. Her words resonated with those who had grown disillusioned with the antics and divisiveness of Trump's presidency. Wanda didn't just talk about his lies, she challenged the very core of his leadership style, something few had dared to do so publicly. As the debate raged on, Trump's reaction only added fuel to the fire. After his Twitter tirade accusing Sykes of being a bitter, out-of-touch liberal, he took it a step further. The former president began a series of media appearances, trying to reassert control and dismiss her comments as irrelevant. But every time he appeared on television or posted on social media, the spotlight seemed to stay on Wanda's message. She had successfully shifted the narrative, and people were now talking about the accountability they wanted in their leaders, not the petty back and forth of political bickering. It wasn't just the public reacting, even Trump's allies were growing concerned. They had seen this pattern before. When he felt cornered, he lashed out, often alienating those around him. And now Wanda Sykes had caused him to lash out in a way that even his closest supporters couldn't ignore. Was this the beginning of a bigger shift in the way the public viewed Trump, or would he weather this storm, as he had so many others? Meanwhile, Wanda Sykes, ever the professional, wasn't letting the backlash get to her. She continued her comedy tour, and when asked about her recent appearance on The Daily Show, she laughed it off with her usual sharp wit. "Look, if Trump's gonna take shots at me on Twitter, that's fine," she said in a subsequent interview, "but I'm not gonna let a guy who thinks the truth is fake news tell me how to live my life. I'm just out here doing what I do best, telling the truth, and maybe making a few people laugh along the way." The media firestorm was nowhere near its peak, and it seemed like Sykes had opened a Pandora's box that Trump would have a hard time closing. Each new day brought a fresh round of headlines, with more and more people beginning to question the veracity of Trump's previous claims. His outbursts on Twitter and in interviews were seen less as defiance and more as desperation, a man scrambling to maintain control of a narrative that was slipping through his fingers. The fallout from Wanda's appearance wasn't just political, it was cultural. People were now more willing to confront the uncomfortable truths of leadership, no longer willing to tolerate the lies and misdirection that had characterized Trump's time in office. Wanda had managed to shift the conversation, not just through her comedy, but by using her platform to highlight the very real consequences of unchecked power and dishonesty.
Tiffany Trump does not need Secret Service detail. First of all, I have no idea what the girl looks like. You could be Tiffany Trump. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I don't know. Why does she have... You know what she deserves? She should have a mall cop.
Wanda's approach, full of humor and piercing clarity, had made people realize something important. Humor wasn't just an escape from the political chaos, it was a tool for holding power to account. And for many, her comments were the turning point in realizing that holding leaders accountable wasn't a partisan issue, it was a matter of principle. Don't miss out on more political revelations and shocking moments. Hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest developments as the truth continues to unfold.